I know. It's time for the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, so let me deliver the goods. Time for operation number 719. That's right, it's time for show number 719 for the Renegades of Puck. At this moment in hockey history, Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 5th place in the Central Division. After 55 games skated, they have a record of 27, 22, and 6. 60 points has the Nashville Predators, 7 points behind a wild card spot, and also 7 points behind an automatic qualifying playoff spot, which would be 3rd place in the Central Division. We'll go over the entirety of the Central Division and the updated standings coming up here in just a matter of moments. The Preds' next game will take place on the road, the first of 2 games out west, well, sort of west, to the southwest. 11-12-3 is the Preds' road record on the season. They've scored 157 goals overall. They've given up 167. That's a goal differential of -10. Now, the Nashville Predators, I mentioned a 2-game road trip. The first game will be in San Jose against the Sharks. The next game will be in Arizona against the Coyotes. And then Tuesday, back home against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Start the month of March in Florida against the Panthers. Then on the 4th of March in Chicago against the Blackhawks. Then on the 6th of March in Vancouver. So a road trip for the Nashville Predators that will take them from just outside of Miami, just a quick stopover in Chicago, then all the way to Vancouver in just 4 days overall. But before the Preds can get to all of those games, let's go over the Central Division and the updated standings. The Dallas Stars still find themselves in first place as they have for much of the season. They have skated in 57 games on the season. They have 30 victories, 72 points overall. That has them 1 point ahead of the Winnipeg Jets and 5 points ahead of the Colorado Avalanche and the Minnesota Wild. The Nashville Predators are then at 60 points, St. Louis at 55 points. They have skated in 2 more games than the Nashville Predators. The Preds and the Colorado Avalanche have skated in the least amount of games in the Central Division by 2 versus the rest of the field. Arizona and Chicago wrap up 7th and 8th in the Central Division. Now, for the Preds, I mentioned they'll be taking on the San Jose Sharks in San Jose in this next game. Late start for the local Central Division time zone, 9:30. The Sharks have a record of 18, 29, and 11. They have 47 points on the season. They are 7th overall in the Pacific Division. Now, on home ice, their record is particularly bad, 6, 14, and 7. But we just saw an Arizona Coyotes team that had 6 road wins on the season beat the Nashville Predators, so I don't rely too much on the fact that the San Jose Sharks have a very, very poor home record. The Nashville Predators have struggled against these types of things this season. -39 is their goal differential, and now this is the final regular season meeting between the Nashville Predators and the San Jose Sharks. If you go back to the very beginning of the season, it was the Global Series where the Nashville Predators and San Jose Sharks met for the first and second time of the season. It was to open the season, and what a different hockey world it was, and how much optimism Nashville and San Jose still had on opening day of the season. On October the 7th, the Nashville Predators defeated the San Jose Sharks 4-1. It was Cole Sherwood. Yes, Cole Sherwood. A goal, an assist. He had 2 points in the game. Tolvanen and Duchesne Niederreiter also with goals in that game. That's right, Ellie Tolvanen scored the opening game. This season, UC Stars got the victory, going 30 out of 31. They would play one more game as part of the Global Series the next day on October the 8th. It would be the Nashville Predators securing their second victory of the season. It was a 3-2 victory. Nino Niederreiter with 2 goals in this game. So he had 3 goals in the first 2 games against San Jose Sharks. That means he's going to score another goal against the Sharks. Philip Forsberg also chipped in with a goal in that game. Lankinen got the victory, 31 out of 33. So the Nashville Predators started out the season 2-0 with 2 victories over the San Jose Sharks, and everybody was wildly excited until the Predators came home and picked up the rest of the season schedule. The Nashville Predators are dealing with some problems now when it comes to injuries. Philip Forsberg is still listed as day-to-day, but I'm getting concerned that day-to-day is now starting to get close to turning into week-to-week, and there's not a lot of time for this Nashville Predators team left if they're going to overcome a 7-point makeup margins for the second possible wildcard spot. That is a whole lot to overcome, but they're not going to be able to do it without Philip Forsberg, and it's going to be a very unlikely hill to climb even with Philip Forsberg. Now, Ryan Johansson is injured. We do not know. We know he left in the second period. We saw some video on the television broadcast, and we know that Chris Mason on the broadcast was considerably concerned for Ryan Johansson's health, saying it was a potential skate blade to the back of the leg. I do not have any detailed information on that, so I will just leave it at that for now and just hope that Ryan Johansson is okay, because, of course, that is one of the scariest injuries in all of hockey, and we've already seen it this season take out a premier player for several months. Carrier, back to the injury list. Carrier is also still listed as day-to-day, but they anticipate him being on this West Coast road trip, which means he should be able to get back in the lineup. And, of course, Mark Borowiecki is still on injured reserve, and he will remain so probably for the remainder of the season. Now, for the Nashville Predators going into San Jose to face off against the Sharks, before we get to the matchups and the NHL rankings and stats between these two teams, let's talk about the previous 5 games for the San Jose Sharks. Going back to February the 12th, it was a 4-1 victory at the Washington Capitals. On the 14th of February, it was a 3-1 loss versus Pittsburgh. They followed it up on the 16th with a 2-1 loss at Vegas. On the 18th, a 4-2 loss versus Buffalo. So everything for a team that is 7th in the Pacific Division with only 47 points on the season. Everything seems kind of normal with these 3 losses in a row right here. And then you hit the 20th of February, the most recent game for this San Jose Sharks team, which is why I would advise the Nashville Predators not to take them lightly. A 4-0 victory versus the Seattle Kraken. The Seattle Kraken, of course, are competing for first place in the Pacific Division, looking to make their first ever playoff berth. Reimer got the shutout in that game, 26 out of 26. And when I say Reimer, Nashville Predators fans who have been following the Preds for a very long time start to perk up, because James Reimer has had a very good career against this Nashville Predators team. I'll get you his stats in just a moment. He gets the shutout against the Seattle Kraken. That's an impressive victory for the San Jose Sharks on home ice. Now, taking a look at the NHL ranks between these two clubs and this matchup, for the goals for category, 2.98 by San Jose is 22nd best in the NHL, while 2.80 for the Nashville Predators is 26th in the NHL. And the goals against category, 3.02 per game. Nashville Predators, that number has now creeped over 3. That number had remained below 3 almost the entire season. That's 14th in the NHL at 3.02, 3.59 for San Jose. That's a huge number, 26th in the NHL. In the shots for category, San Jose is 24th overall in the league, 29.6 per game on net, while the Predators are generating 30.6 per game. That's 21st overall in the NHL. When it comes to shots against, 27th overall in the NHL for the Nashville Predators, giving up 33.9 shots against, and that means UC Saros has faced an incredible workload this season, almost to the point of being cumbersome. The shots against for the San Jose Sharks, they're giving up 31.2 per game. That's 14th overall in the league. When it comes to special teams, the San Jose Sharks actually do lead in both of the statistical metrics in special teams. Power play, 23rd, 30 conversions on 155 opportunities, or 19.4%. When it comes to the Nashville Predators power play, only a 17% conversion rate on the season. That's 27th overall in the league. 30 conversions on 176 opportunities, so the same number of power play goals for each of these teams, but the San Jose Sharks have had 19 fewer opportunities. On the penalty kill, the Nashville Predators are 15th in the NHL. They've given up 38 power play goals against, kill rate of 79.1%. But listen up, the San Jose Sharks have the second best penalty kill in the entire NHL. They've only given up 27 power play goals against, and they have a kill rate of 84.1%. Highly impressive for a team that is in 7th place in their division with only 47 points and is pacing in the draft lottery sweepstakes more than the NHL playoff sweepstakes. When it comes to individual statistics, every team in the NHL has a boatload of significant players. So let's talk about the offensive threats and the number of players that can put the puck in the net for the San Jose Sharks. There are quite a few of them. Carlson out there on the blue line is having just an incredible season by the numbers. 18 goals, 58 assists, 76 points. He's always been a lethal offensive threat from out there at the blue line, but this season is truly stepping it up a notch for him. And Carlson and Yossi head-to-head is usually a very fun watch. By the way, both of those defensemen happen to be leading their team in scoring. Just because of the fun of the matchup between the two, I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to Yossi. Yossi's got 15 goals and 35 assists for 50 points on the season. Again, Carlson 18 and 58 for 76. So as good a season as Roman Yossi is having right now with 50 points, Carlson is 26 points ahead, and the two of them usually match up and usually compete really hard against each other. We've seen Roman Yossi in the past. He has absolutely posterized Carlson. Back over to the San Jose Sharks side of things. Timo Meier, 31 goals on the season. And again, Timo Meier, another player that usually has pretty good games against the Preds. 21 assists, 52 points overall. Logan Couture, another San Jose Shark that does. And Logan Couture has been doing it against the Preds seemingly ever. 20 goals in the season, 20 assists, 48 points overall. Thomas Hertl, 15 and 32 for 47. Now, James Reimer net 9, 14, and 6, and 8.98 save percentage, a 3.20 goals against average. But considering James Reimer's history against the Nashville Predators, throw those numbers out and put the odds in his favor if he does get the start. Now, for the Nashville Predators, I just mentioned Roman Josi's leading the team in scoring. 35 assists leads the Nashville Predators in that category. 50 points, of course, leads the team overall in scoring. Matt Duchene's 17 goals and 26 assists for 43 points is good for second on the team. Philip Forsberg out injured, but his 19 goals still paces the Nashville Predators. 23 assists for 42 points overall. Mikhail Granlund, 7 and 24 for 31, and Ryan Johansson, 12 goals, 16 assists for 28 points on the season. After tonight's victory, the Nashville Predators starting netminder UC Saros has a record of 21, 16, and 5, a 9.16 save percentage, and a 2.84 goals against average. That's got you all set up. The Nashville Predators are a fifth-place team. They're heading into San Jose to take on a seventh-place team. Every point at this moment in the season is incredibly critical. The Nashville Predators 7 points behind a wild card spot at this moment in time, and a lot of work to make up for. The Nashville Predators in San Jose going for the season sweep against the Sharks. That's got you all set up for that game. Now it's time to go for the Rebirth Sports full game recap and go back and find out what happened between the Nashville Predators and Vancouver Canucks at Bridgestone Arena.